She couldn't find it. It was like, when? Say when. She's like, it's like with defeat in her voice. She says, when. Tears. How you doing?
I just don't know if like where or why would have been funny enough.
I would have done it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I would have done it. I don't know if it would have been funny enough. It doesn't. See, sometimes, I think, personally, there is a value in a lame joke, even if the joke's lame, because
but it has to be a good lame joke. Like there's like a really bad lame joke, and then there's like a good lame joke. I don't know.
Or it can set up like better singers later. So I think the best lesson of humor I've ever learned was actually from, I don't know if you ever read Peter David's Spider-Man, any of his Spider-Man runs.
Probably not, since when I was reading mainstream, I was reading more DC, so probably not.
Okay, so Peter David is a legitimately funny writer, but here's the thing: the secret to like Spider-Man's jokes actually being funny is that some of them were absolutely terrible. Because here's the thing, right? Like it's like think of like when you listen to music or comedy, right? There's a magic beat. There's a beat to it. So if I hit you with nothing but great jokes, eventually you're gonna just stop laughing because it's gonna be like you're unable to, like, they're all good, so therefore it's like differentiating between the quality becomes difficult, like very, very difficult. So it's not as easy for you to get all in. Whereas if you tell some good jokes, throw in some bad jokes, go a little up and down, it's easier to actually get people into the rhythm of the jokes. Then eventually you can just talk complete garbage and people will just be into it. I mean, it's like, right?
But they're already laughing, so.
Yeah, they're already there. So you already got in there. So it doesn't matter what you do at this point. But getting them there, you have to have some bad material with good material. You do. It's true.
I just don't know if I go like out of my way to purposely. I mean, I like a good pun and I like a good dad joke. So
they're bad. They're almost all of them terrible.
They can be. But
you're
I don't
part
know if
of
I would like purposely write like I would purposely write bad puns, but would I purposely like write something bad for the sake of writing something? You know what I mean?
Okay, think of it like this.
Like I'm not going to try to write a short story and write it badly.
No.
For example.
No. I'm not saying your final product wouldn't be good, but it's like, think of it like, I think you're thinking it's like the whole thing shouldn't be bad. But think of it like a little but think about this. If you did a little piece of it bad on purpose, would it help everything else? Right? Think of it like this, right? Right? If it's so squeaky clean that basically when you're walking, your ass squeaks, right? People are going to be distracted. People are going to be distracted by the squeaking of the ass, right? Now,
I think the best thing in like literature, because I don't think it's not like you want like to write a bad piece of literature, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to like be like, I'm going to write a bad paragraph so that all the other paragraphs are good. But you don't want like, you have like a sentence or two and they might have some, be really literary and have some like highfalutin words or whatever. But you can't have every sentence like that because it's too much.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Similar concept.
It's a similar concept. It's like, well, it's like, okay, like think of this. There's no such thing as a perfect piece of literature.
Well, true.
Right? There's no such thing, right? But the thing is, the reason why these books are good is you can feel a connection to them because none of us are perfect. Mm-hmm. So there's good lines, there's bad lines, there's lines that could be better. But at some point, you take away the humanity of the story, right? And once you do that, then it doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, it's a story from a box. I didn't want a story from a box. I wanted the story you tell, because there's only one Leanne Kathleen Ingino. So there go. I want to hear her voice, her good, her bad.
At some point, comics are stories from a box.
They are. Can be. They can be. They're from a
but
box.
Not the same type of box.
No.
It's a good box. It's a nice box. Yeah.
Kind of. It's a heavy box. It's heavy. You got to open it up. You got to be gentle. You got to be gentle with it because if you're too violent, you break the books. You don't want to do that. Mm. But it's a box nonetheless. It's not the box we're talking about.
No,
but it's a box.
It's not the metaphorical box.
No, it's not a metaphor. It's an actual literal box. It's cardboard, and it's usually, well, it used to always have a diamond logo. Now it's not true anymore. Now it's various logos, but it's strange that comics have gone back to the 90s of, hey, we're going to do our own shipping now, and there's still Diamond, but there's other things now too. And while I think it's inherently a good thing, it's also weird how history repeats itself a little bit.
Hopefully, I don't know. There's some things that maybe aren't improving, but hopefully that improves in a good way.
Yes. Well, yeah,
Hopefully that's
I
one of those
hope
things.
so. So,
Yeah.
so just out of curiosity, when you were reading comics,
Mhm.
when did you start reading comics?
A little bit in college, more so after college. Late high school, college, I was primarily reading manga, and then I started reading comics after that. And part of the barrier to entry was the whole like superhero. What the fuck do I start with? You know, I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
where to start. So, but actually, one of the books I started with was like the Fathom series.
Oh, okay.
So it was
So
really
that
pretty,
gives me
like
that gives,
mermaids and stuff like that. So
that gives me an era to figure out the original Fathom series.
yeah, but I think they were already maybe on the either the first or the second by the time I picked it up.
See, I think I still got my originals. I think. Yeah, because I got into
Well,
it.
I bought the trades because that was always my preference. But then at some point, like I just started collecting some. Like I don't usually collect comics. Like if I want a comic because I want to buy it and I want to read it in advance, I'll buy the comic. But otherwise, I don't know, just for money, you know. Now indie comics, I'll buy the floppies to support people and whatnot, of course. But those weekly pulls can get expensive, man.
Oh,
So,
no, they can. It depends. Like okay, back in my day, shut up, Clouds. I'm talking to you. Back in my day, there was a point where it was worth it. So it's funny. Now I'm at that point now where I've simplified my collection. Right, I won't go anywhere beyond like the regular stuff from a floppy standpoint. I stick within my like little boxes and like metaphorical boxes in this case of. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I still read those on a regular. It's approaching 150 issues. It's my longest lasting comic book, believe it or not. Right now is Ninja Turtles. Then I have Saga. I have Starhenge, and then this is all like indie snobbish shit. That's okay. There's Parker Girls by Terry Moore. Then I go then I got which I just did a review of. It's basically to sum up the thing. It's Poor Mark. Like you read the first 2 issues of that. Mark's a character in the story that he gets like in the first issue he steals $10 million from an evil corporation because he thought he had cancer, and it turns out he didn't have cancer. So now he's got this money he doesn't know what to do with. So he meets this girl. Her name is Alex, right? She's probably a spy. In fact, she's probably a spy, and she talks him into giving it all to her for cryptocurrency, doubles the money. Right, she bangs him, but she leaves him tied up naked in the bed to be found. And in the next issue, he's still relatively like has no clothes. He gets abducted by his former employer, gets actually thrown into the trunk of a car in front of everybody, which is what you do in those science situations, right? And he ends up naked in the middle of nowhere after he was fired. So I actually, after the first 2 issues, the first impression I got was poor Mark. He kind of deserves some of that, but man, Terry Moore was torturing this guy just for shits and giggles, right?
You think he knows a Mark that he doesn't like? Maybe.
I would. It wouldn't shock me. I mean, I tend not to punish people in my fiction because I think it gives them too much credit. What I do then at that point is
you mean not real people? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not real people.
Yeah.
I'll make them fan fiction. That's what I do. That's how I punish people, because that way, see, now I make it really awkward, and right, because now it's like, he's not going to kill. No, because people want to die in your books. People want to be villains in your books, right? But fan fiction, somebody's fan fiction, nah, that's just like a weird punishment on levels that can't be like described. First time I heard it's like that.
I'd be okay with Sailor Moon fan fiction only because it's not like they're writing, new manga anyways.
No,
so if somebody like inserted me there, I'd be like, well, maybe it depends on like how and where, but
I like the fact that you're not an automatic no. I just like it's like, wait, what am I doing? who am I doing?
What it could be a bad rabbit hole of fan fiction. So
It's a very
yeah,
terrible rabbit hole, fan fiction. That's why I say
yeah.
it's a weird punishment, right? If I kill you in a story, you're like, cool, I died. How'd I die? Right? Right? How'd I die? That's usually how people say, how'd I die? Or I'm a villain. I'm a villain. Or you know, you're a stormtrooper. You can't hit anything. You can't hit the broadside of a barn, and you're probably going to be some sacrificial lamb to the good guys or the bad guys.
Right.
So depending on what, so again, nobody argues about any of that stuff. Fan fiction, though, it's like that's a rabbit hole. Except for you, you're like, is Sailor Moon involved? Then if so, maybe.
Yeah, it depends what forum we're posting on. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
you're oddly comfortable about this. So I don't know if I can actually punish you in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know. I mean, most of her villains were interesting. Some of them were just pretty like one note, but there were, a lot of them had something going on. So
I enjoyed the Japanese version. The American version, I like the music in the American version is awesome.
yeah,
But
it's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah.
But the Japanese is where it's at. If you want actually the good character stuff,
Yeah.
Barrel's still her best villain though. Just honestly, Base Barrel.
I definitely I watched the American first because of course, it was available.
Yes.
And then when I realized there were more seasons, I was like, okay, well, I guess we got to get these. So may as well watch the whole thing in Japanese now. So
and when you watch in Japanese, you're like, this is so different than what I imagined it was in English.
There was definitely some unchanged things in English. I mean, there had to be a little bit, yeah, but there were some things that were obviously.
She was. It was easier to take her more seriously in Japanese, even though she had some goofball moments. There was a lot more gravity in the Japanese show, whereas in the North American, there never really was. Right, but kick-ass battle music. I'll give the North American version that it's kick-ass battle music. But besides that, though,
I own that CD. So
yes. Which one? The first one or the second one? There's two of them.
I think the first one. I think.
Yeah.
Because I think I only had one.
Yeah, there's two, and I know this because I have a buddy of mine who went to high school. He had all the Sailor Moon stuff. I mean, all of it. He had the Alpha Getty. I still remember this. He even had the Alpha Getty. So it's like everything. It was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, that's why I know there's two because I've listened. I've heard both soundtracks. They're not that different, but there are some. Like The Power of Love is on one of them, and the Final Battle of Barrel music's on the other one, and it's scary. I still actually know this. It's like,
I do not remember those details now.
No, my manga, my Japanese manga series of choice though was Full Metal Alchemist. That was mine.
I know. I still haven't. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. It's like it's one of the best ones, like far and away. It's really good.
I like a lot the weird out there ones, like some ones that just aren't that popular, Yeah, but everybody knows Full Metal Alchemist, but yeah.
Yeah, but
not that it can't be good because it's. I mean, just being popular doesn't make it not good. It can definitely still be good.
Yeah, and Tomoki Dismatsu from Urasawa is really good. Okay, right now for me.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I haven't read it, but I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, so for me, it's for me right now, it's Spy X Family. It is the silliest thing I read.
We just started watching that, so we're watching the anime.
Oh, you watched it? Okay.
And we're three episodes in, and I'm like, this writing has to be on purpose. There's no way it's actually this bad. These.
No, it's on purpose. No, it's part of the charm. It's part of the actual charm of the show. Is
well, and that's what makes it better. Because if it was not on purpose, then.
No. See, here's the thing, right? It's from the perspective of the 5-year-old telepath, and because of that, she's gonna It's almost like, have you ever seen the comic Axe Cop? World-class illustrator, 10-year-old brother's telling the story. So it's told like a 10-year-old. So
have you watched the anime?
I haven't watched the
I'm
anime.
not sure that it's from her viewpoint in the anime. There
Well,
are
she's
parts that are from her viewpoint for
well, no,
sure.
so some of it, like some of it's over the top silly. Like Agent Twilight has her own perspective, has his own perspective. Yor
Right.
has her own
Well,
perspective.
Westonia in the West,
Yes. Oh
like,
no, some of this is like
yeah.
entirely. It's not designed to be taken seriously,
Right.
right? It's just not. That's the part that makes it
Uh,
fun, right? It has serious moments here and there. So wait. I'm just curious. Has the
uh-huh.
and this is a tiny spoiler, so don't hold this against me too hard. It's just a question. It's a yes or no question.
Okay.
Has the dog showed up yet?
Mm, no.
Okay, that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. One of my favorite stories involves that dog, and like you're not that far enough ahead into it. So
Right.
in the manga, I'm on volume 8, so I'm deep into it. So it's my silly. Um, how do I put this? It's my silly escape because it's not again. It's designed to be a silly. It's a fun
Yeah.
concept about a family trying to fake it, and along the way they're actually becoming a family. I think it's actually that's the part that makes it really
Really
hilarious.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm currently doing manga wise. But Full Metal is my all time favorite. Code GS is fun. If you want a weird one that's kind of fun, it's there. I enjoyed Chaos Head, which is like a weird
Mm.
murder virtual reality kind of thing. So, I mean, there are some like lots of these little niche ones that are here and there that are really good,
I don't know if
right?
Gantz is. I don't know. I still feel like Gantz is not like mainstream. Maybe.
It's in the upper tier. It's not like they're
Yeah.
not the most popular, but people know it. People know
Right.
it,
Yeah.
right?
I haven't.
Right?
I haven't gotten around to finishing it. I need like the last maybe 10 or so because they had a pretty long run of
Oh yeah,
manga.
no, they're a long show. So it's Berserk. No, that's another one
Yeah.
that's really long. So it's Bleach. I
Yeah. I
so
stopped at like 150 or so. I was like, I'm just. I can't.
I love the mains, like the stuff from the actual like manga is really good in Bleach. The
Mm.
filler uh is like
Yeah.
yeah. See, you got the same thing. It's
Like if you
like
knew exactly where to cut and then just like go ahead to the non-filler, it'd be like,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not against all filler. Some of the fillers.
Sure, sometimes you need it a little bit. Or like at the beginning of a new season, you might need a little,
My
whatever.
I do the anime I'm watching right now is Fairy Tale. So like they have my favorite zombie apocalypse ever.
Mm,
Like they actually they came up with the fairy tale version of it. They have this one character who
I did
uses
not know that
claw.
had zombies or was the
No, it
zombie story.
kind of does. It kind of does. Do you remember
Okay.
the short wizard guy that deals with chemicals like pheromones and stuff like that? Can't remember his name,
Oh no,
but
I haven't watched it or read it.
okay.
I
Well,
just I
so
know of it and I wouldn't have thought
no,
anything
no,
about zombies.
so basically they took one of the wizards. He's a little eccentric over the top. He accidentally creates a chemical compound that turns people into copies of him. So it's one of those like this is a zombie apocalypse,
Uh,
but not in this typical
not like
sense.
traditional.
But it's the same thing. People getting converted to this wizard that came like that has this over the top way of doing things. It's like
Mm.
you're all becoming these zombies. It's like no. Is hilarious, right? It's just absolutely hilarious. So
Do they eat brains?
no, they sniff
No brain
people.
eating.
And they sniff pheromones and they turn people. When they sniff you, they turn you into them. The joke. You won't get the joke until you actually watch the show. If you watch the show, there's like you'll get it, and you'll be like, oh man, this is like a fate worse than. But you're laughing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like okay, this is. I like zombie apocalypses when they're not silly, when they actually are just generally they're just in good fun. They're not like Zombieland's my all-time favorite zombie movie.
Oh, that's a good movie. Yeah, didn't see number 2 yet, but
And I haven't
yeah.
seen 2 yet. I'm not cool enough to see number 2.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
you could
so
probably stream it somewhere. I mean,
I don't have time. I just
well,
don't.
yeah,
Well,
no,
here's the thing.
yeah.
I can talk to amazing people like you, right? And for my spare time, I read books, play video games. I have to give up something. And
No, I
television,
feel you. Yeah.
yeah,
This is why I
television,
haven't been reading much manga. So
yeah. So for you, it's like you're creating books. So
yeah.
wait, you say you're watching anime, but you're not reading manga, not partaking in
Yeah,
manga.
I often have like stuff on in the background depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So now if it's like subtitle stuff, that's when like I'll usually watch it with my husband and like I'm actually like watching it because otherwise I can't do both of those things at the same time, you know?
yeah.
So
I got you. No, I get you. I
yeah.
get you. My show to like listen in the background is Highlander the series. I've done it before, so I can right, but every once in a
Right.
while,
You can just put it on.
yeah, just put it on. Like I find
Yeah.
like that kind of thing works. But here's the downside: of not watching television. If it's new and shiny and awesome, I get distracted.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, I'm watching The Boys. I'm still on season 3. It's like
I haven't
slowly
watched that
working.
yet. Yeah. I wasn't
Like
sure if I should watch it, and then like
it's one of the few
now I'm
times
thinking maybe I should.
it's actually better than the comic was.
Yeah, I didn't read it either, but
It's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't really need to. Like there are some things to comic. There's one
There are
thing
like a couple things you'll miss, but
nothing major. And honestly,
yeah.
there's only one thing I think the comic did better than the television show. Honestly, and that was the not spoiling it, the plane. Because in the comic, it's the whole team that screws up, and it's more terrifying in the comic than it is actually on the
In the
television
show.
show. And the show is actually it's terrifying too, but it's actually more so in the comic because the comic
Right.
uses real. Well, what the comic did was they actually used real physics to describe a superhero trying to save a plane.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
it's horrifying. Like it's absolutely horrifying.
I wouldn't be
you
able to
see
do
it.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was writing a piece of science fiction recently, and I did just enough research to make it like somewhat believable, like on a spaceship, because I was like, I don't know how a spaceship works. I don't know what's going on. What? I don't know. So don't make me physics something. It's not happening.
Oh, it was bad. Like one thing that happened in the comic did not happen in the television show.
Mm.
When Homelander opened up the plane, a kid actually fell out of it.
Mm.
Oh, it's Homelander. He'll come and save us. Opens the plane. The kid just gone. Just gone. You're like, oh, this is not going to end well. And it doesn't. Like, it's brutal. Right. And the show's brutal too, but oddly, not as brutal. And that's saying something because the show does not have a happy ending either. It's just, but it's, it is what it is. And, but no, for me, for right now, when I do watch television, it is The Boys and it is Fairy Tale. Slowly but surely. That's one of those long series with lots of filler too, but it's like,
Right.
But I enjoyed the filler in Fairy Tale. Which is something I can't really say I did with either Bleach or I tried Naruto. I tried. I think we all try.
I gave it a season, and
you tried. It's like yeah. No, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen, but it was just like, nope, this isn't for me.
I feel like the first season was like decent. I don't know if I don't know,
Didn't
it
grab
felt
you.
like it was gonna
Yeah, it didn't grab you. Like that's the thing. Like it wasn't for you. It wasn't like it was.
I like other ninja like
Yeah,
animes.
I do
So
too. But it was just not that one. That one's just like, give me Ninja Scroll. That one's like bad. That one's badass. Give me. Hold on, I'm trying to think here of a serious one. Not. Huh. I'm just not a ninja guy when it comes to anime. Closest thing I got is Kenichi's The Mightiest Disciple. That show is badass. That show is amazing. I don't know if you've ever watched that or not.
It doesn't ring a bell.
It is basically it's basically anime's version of the Karate Kid. It's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. Nice. But maybe I'm not going to lie. There might be a touch of Karate Kid bias there. I'm not going to say there isn't. But a lot of the same lessons and same concepts are in that show. Yeah. So it really works. I like there are so I think the cool thing about that one show was it showed me that certain concepts are universal in nature, and if you tell a story the right way, it doesn't matter. It can still be fun to tell.
I was trying to figure out why there was text over my gnome, and then I realized it's the Restream logo.
Yes, it is. It's
like,
the Restream logo.
What happened to my banner? Oh no, we're all good. Okay.
Listen, he's got a cool pirate. You can just say he's got a pirate like headband now. It's all about the pirate headbands.
Right. Oh man, my childhood ninja movie was Three Ninjas.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a fun. I mean, it was silly, but you
don't need, again, it doesn't have to be like, this.
Oh yeah.
Like I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? And Power Rangers and Three Ninjas. I'm 12.
I don't know if I've seen all TMNT, but we watched the one where they go to feudal Japan like a lot.
Oh, okay. That are we talking like the live action one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's amazing. I haven't seen those in forever. My grandmother still to this day, when I go see her, will talk to me about watching. She still remembers when I was 10 years old. She took me to the movie to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She still remembers, and she still lets me know every single time I listen. But no, she's like, I didn't really want, like goes, you did what you were told, and I went and I took you a treat. It's like, yeah, I love me some Ninja Turtles, and maybe it's a little bit because my grandmother did take me to go see them. So kudos to you, Nana. Love you. But it's just one of those. Like, yeah, like there's some great ninja stuff. Although maybe great in Three Ninjas might be a bit of a stretch, but
it's a good, like, a lot of those movies now are comfort movies for me,
Yeah.
It's like, this brings up like good memories and it's comforting and I don't have to think hard about it. And like, I love a good think piece sometimes, but other times I'm just like, oh, I just want to relax and like, this is comfy and safe.
Yeah, that Spy X Family is my comfy and safe one right now. It's like it
really
still
cute.
gives me that that.
Oh, this isn't right,
but it also has that because I know deep down that the charm of the show is how bad they misunderstand it. It's a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really, really like. You're never gonna quite feel the tension of the real tension of that story is Twilight and Yor. Will they or will? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Yor is like killing people, but it's not like. I mean, so far it's not like the main thing, and it's not like super gory or anything like that. It's just it's just like, this happened. It happened, and now we're that's it.
I can't wait to hear a little farther into the show because I'll talk to you about an epic tennis match that you'll see, and you're just like you'll be looking at that and you'll be like, oh my gosh, like what did I just see here? What did I just see? Because although they do hint at it later on, Yor is a badass, like a real tough woman, like just unbelievably so.
I kind of felt like, I mean, I don't know, I got that in the anime already, except for they're I don't know if this is in the manga, but they're kind of playing her off as a little bit socially awkward.
Yeah,
but, like, in some terms, yeah. But in terms of like her job, like, oh yeah, she kicks ass,
No, she is incredibly socially awkward, and also she can't cook to save her life, as you'll see.
No, well, they didn't actually show her trying to cook yet, but they did the school interview, and she's like, oh, I don't really cook.
Oh no, it's trust me, that's why I asked you. My favorite side story involves that little piece of information and the dog, and that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. You'll see it and you'll be like, really? That's what happened? Yes, that did happen. It's like unbelievable, right?
Okay, so this one's not anime, but we just finished Old Enough.
I'm not cool enough to know what that is.
So it's on Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. And it's a show from Japan, and it was like, I don't know if there's more seasons, but this one that's on Netflix now was like 2008 or something, so it's a little bit older. Um, and it's so the way that a lot of Japanese communities have built things is they have a lot more focus on safety, crosswalks, stuff like that. People watch out for kids more. Um, I'm assuming there's not as much like risk of kidnapping or whatever. I mean, I'm sure maybe it happens some, but uh, they're not worried about enough. Like they're sending like 2-year-olds out on errands, by themselves. I mean, yes, there is a film crew there, but apparently, like this is not an abnormal thing for parents to send out their young kids on an errand.
Yeah.
So like
No.
you couldn't do that in most places here. I mean,
No,
U.S. or I don't know Canada. I'm assuming
North America, you can't. North America has a
no.
very, my family's European, right? So I've had access to booze since I was 4, right? but not to like I'm going to drink to excess. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just it's there, right? It's just part of the furniture, and and there's a lot of
furniture.
It really is. It sounds funny, but it's the truth.
No, yeah, I
Like,
mean it kind of makes sense, I guess.
well, because again, it's perspective, right? So anywhere else in the world, just in this particular example, you go to the Caribbean, there are kids in the bars, but there's a rule: you're bigger than the stool, you can have a drink. But right, that's the rule, right?
All like 7-year-olds are like,
yeah. Really tall 7-year-old, you can go, hey, go nuts.
maybe
Because
8,
again,
10, 9, I don't know.
yeah, whatever, right? It's all good. But here's the thing, right? Now, North America, it's like, oh my God, they're not like we're 19 up here or 21 wherever you're at. It's probably 21, right? And I do find it a little weird that you guys can actually decide the fate of your country at 18, but you can't get wasted until you're 21. It's a weird little, it's just from an intellectual standpoint. To me, it's just fucking
or
weird.
that you can go into the army.
Yeah,
but not drink.
You can literally get a job where you may have to defend your country and kill people, but you can't get hammered, which is just like.
Well, I don't know if you'd want to get hammered like while on that job. That's probably not a good idea.
Maybe not while on the job per se, but
like off time or something.
Yeah, on your off time, you still can't, and it's like. That is weird.
Anyways, it definitely feels like an arbitrary one, especially if you take into consideration that I think there's been some studies that talk about like your brain still develops until you're 25 or 26. So why wouldn't we make it like that age? Like if that's what we're actually worried about.
But again, there's a human psychology aspect to it too, and this is the flip side, right? Here's the thing. Most of the countries I have that have this, like, don't really are pretty lax on the age of alcohol.
Yeah.
They don't drink like Americans and Canadians do. They have a drink. That's it. And then they call it. It's not going to warp the brain that much if you have one drink, right? Now, whereas...
I'm sure you have some parties, right?
Once in a while. But, I mean, we're talking, like, once in a while.
Yeah.
Not, oh, my God, it's the weekend. I'm going to get fucking hammered, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, again, parties, they happen, but they're not. I mean, they happen. Yeah. It's.
I mean, I like on occasion I've had like maybe 5 a year, which is a good number, but it's not every week or every. Well, some of my friends did have some too, so. I don't know, maybe 7 months out of the year. Something like
that. I'm gonna get to my point. That's awesome. That's awesome. So here's the thing, right? You make something forbidden. You actually add to the appeal of it.
Yeah.
If you make something common, I mean, you might play with it at first, but eventually you'll be like, it's just one of anything. Now again, there's still going to be the occasional party. I'm sure there's still going to be like, we all do all of us celebrate and feel bad. We sometimes have a drink, but again, culturally speaking, it'd be one drink or 1 or 2 drinks.
Depending on your size and other things. Like for me, for me, it's usually 1 if I'm going out because,
one's fine. You want to take the edge off. You're not looking. You're looking to have a drink, relax, a little bit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you really
Occasionally
want.
two, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And
you go
at two, I'm like loopy at two, so pretty good.
whereas me, I'm still Canadian. Like I live in a mountain. If I come down to your part of
We
the
were talking
world.
about this last time, that the
Yeah.
elevation. Yeah.
Yeah, the elevation just So I probably would just have a water for the first few days. I mean, and someone go to me, why? 'Cause I'm not
Acclimate.
gonna. Yeah, it's like I gotta acclimate, otherwise I'm not gonna feel a damn thing,
Sorry.
right?
Oh.
Especially a state like I think the worst one. I mean, the worst nightmare for me would be like Utah, because I'd be like, they have like these like alcohol percentage requirements. It's like my urine has more alcohol than a drink in Utah has.
Mm.
It's
Like it
just
can't
like,
be over a certain percent.
that's right. So I wouldn't feel a damn thing. Even if I did acclimate, I probably still wouldn't feel a damn thing.
Well, you could just drink it more.
I'd have to like their percentage. I'd have to drink like a flat. Like I'm not talking like that's the truth. Canadians can drink. Like Canadians can really drink.
What is the percent?
The average percent up here, the percent in Utah is like 3%. Like it's like 3. I think that's the max you can go. And whereas
There's like some beers that are like around 4, but the beers are like 4 to 6, right?
Yeah, that our average beer up here is 5 or 6%. That's our average, right? And then we'll go a little harder. Craft beers can go to about 7 or 8, right? Thing on it.
You're like your double IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whereas but again, it's just normal up here, right? So like right, your regular beer down there doesn't do much to me either. Like your craft stuff does, but your regular stuff, it'd just be like, okay. Or if I go on like
it's
one of your
cheap. That's the draw for.
Yeah, that's it. Or if I go on a cruise ship, and I go, I'm Canadian, they would probably give me like they would, oh, you're Canadian. In that case, we're gonna up your dosage.
Give you the real. So is that what I should say next time?
If you want more booze in your thing, yeah, just say you're Canadian. If you can prove it, especially if you have a way of proving it, even if it's bullshit, you'll get more booze.
Well, if the bartender's not Canadian, that would help.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they are, I might be in trouble.
Yeah, I'm just
because so last time I was on a cruise, we got the drink package, so it wasn't really a concern. But the one I went on before that, I did not get the drink package. I'm paying like $20 for this drink, and I'm like, I don't taste any alcohol. And it wasn't like I don't taste alcohol because it's well done. It was like, I don't taste any alcohol because there's not much alcohol in this.
It tastes like water. There's a difference between it's a good drink and it tastes like water. There's a difference, right? So
it was like oh God, I don't remember what it was. Some poolside, not too fruity, but kind of fruity thing. But I could tell, I was like, this is low.
Yeah. Depending on your cruise, you go where you're from, and they just say Canada. You might watch the bartender. It's like, oh, okay. I've seen it, and you'll just see it. They'll just go from, this is what I give the American. This is what I'm going to give the Canadian, because this will be I want the Canadian to feel it. Otherwise, he's just going to look at me like I'm awkward. Yeah, Canadian.
See, I feel if I have to pay for them, then I have to pay for less if I can get more in the one. So
yeah. No, it'll work. Because honestly, go with the Canadian strategy, right? Yeah. Even better, like take someone like Chuck with you, because Chuck can pull that off. All right. I'm Canadian. You're right. Yeah, right. You just go get, like, I'm just saying, like, that's how you do it. Like, you actually bring a real Canadian with you, and you'll get his perks without actually having to lie. See?
I just to say I'm with him, not.
Yeah.
I don't have to say I live in Canada. Just.
Yeah. That's it. That's see, exactly. You're not lying. You're not telling the full truth, but you're not lying, right? And you'll watch. You will watch the alcohol content just go. I'm not kidding. Like Canadians have a reputation. It's deserved for drinking, right? It's deserved.
I don't know if there's any comics cruises. There's a board game cruise. There's also a metal cruise.
There's also a pro wrestling cruise. So I mean, there's I'm sure there's a comic book cruise. If not, someone's really missing out on an opportunity there.
Should we should make one?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, I totally should.
I'm going to Google. Okay, there's a cause. Oh wait, no, it says calling on cosplayers. 6 cruises for nerds and geeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So
so
cosplay.
yeah, they might be doing it. Oh
Uh-oh.
no, I'm gonna close out because my screen is just freezing. It's like too many tabs. So
No,
look
no
at it
worries.
later.
So I'm just saying, no, like comic book cruise ship, like I said, it's like one of those things. When I do go across the border, now if I go to like a state like Texas, so like let's say I go meet Chuck, for example, meet up with him, he's just gonna get me something like something harder right away. It's like, here you go, buddy. It's, right, right. So I mean, yeah, and also Texas has its own kind of rules in regards to booze, and I'm well aware of that. So. But
I don't know. I
no,
don't know
like,
the Texas rules. My parents live there, but they don't really drink. So
yeah, you guys pretty much just do what you want. Like that's what I've seen over there.
in Texas, okay, yeah, I mean, that
Yeah,
makes sense. That sounds about
yeah,
right. So
yeah. It's just you just do what you want, and that is part of the appeal. It's also why some people think it's the worst nightmare too. But there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to it.
yeah. Well, I don't know. They're okay. No politics. Anyways.
No. That's okay.
Yeah.
Politically speaking, I'm an atheist. I hate all parties equally, just for different reasons, right?
I would just say that
actually, I hate them for the exact same reason. I can't find an ounce of integrity on any of them. I'll pick on the Democrats right now because they're in power, but I'll pick on the Republicans too, right? Because honestly, the way I look at it is, you're in power. This is your shit show. I'm gonna bitch. I'm not gonna be nice about it. I don't know if the
there
other guy
is
will
some
make
level of like dealing with whatever you had to like come into, and I
to a
don't know,
point.
like, yeah, to a point, exactly. I don't know where that point is.
I have a 1-year rule. You might say 2 because of the pandemic, but I'll have a 1-year rule, right? Basically, after a year, you're there, right? You might still be cleaning up his mess.
Right.
He might still be cleaning up his mess, but you're no longer at that point in the process where it's just cleaning up the mess. You're making your own decisions at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't go after Biden for COVID too much. There are some things I do, but not a lot. Right. I do go after him for the inflation because that is on him. Right.
That was just this year, right?
Yeah.
Because it's always an even year, so it hasn't even been a year.
No. He was elected in 2020.
Oh my God, am I? No, you're right. Oh.
Yeah, 2020. He's been elected in 2020. So I'm just saying, I have enough time. I have enough time to completely shit on him now. And right, not that I was a fan of him before, but I can shit on him now, and vice versa. Like if I'm thinking a Republican's probably going to win 2024 based on what I've seen, if that person comes in, same thing. 1 year, he's got a 1-year grace period, or I'm not going to shit on him. But after that, it's fair game, right? And
that's right. It was an even, but it was an even year. He started in 2021.
Yeah, he started in 2021. So basically, the election will be 2024. 2025 will be whoever.
Right. Election is even. Odd is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So 2023 will come, and you will see. And you will see that's the last year. Everybody will focus on him that way, and then we'll get into the crazy election gala, right?
Yes.
And
fun.
And then I get to watch. I get to watch. I get to watch. An evisceration, and then probably a conservative government. I'm sorry to say for you, because I can tell you just your accent. It's not what you're looking forward to. And then probably another shit show for 4 years, and then we get to repeat this all over again, right? Yeah.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting. That's like what I don't know. Like, what would be a good term? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if 4 is the right number.
See, my idea is really simple. We do away with the party whole thing altogether and just do.
Oh, yeah. No, the party thing. But if you still have, let's just say if you still have a president, what would that term
be? Time, 4 years, that's it. Make it a completely part-time position, because Now there are other issues you got to deal with in your politics, like in your infrastructure. But
just a couple.
it's a big list. It's a big list. The problem, it's a big list, but the two that eventually helps fix all are your banking system. That's the big one, and from your banking system, all of the other alphabet soups, like the infrastructure of how the government currently is done. You fix those two things. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a laundry list of other problems, but they start all going away.
I don't know if it was a meme.
Yeah.
But it was like this. I mean, it was kind of like meme format, and it was somebody saying, "Oh yeah, this Japanese road, like they fixed it in like, I don't know, a week after like something going. Oh no, it was the earthquake. They're like, oh yeah, they rebuilt this city after the earthquake in like whatever time, a year, I don't know. And they're like, this pothole on my street has been here for 20 years.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's government in a nutshell right there. It's inefficient as fuck. It does some. You need a government.
Japan has a government, so it's just we have differences. And I mean, there's some things that I wouldn't like about Japan too.
Oh yeah, vice versa. No. Every place has its pros and its cons.
Yeah,
every one of them. It doesn't matter what it is. There are pros. There are pros. There are
hey,
pros.
Do you guys like pit bulls in Canada?
Yes.
Okay, so I could move to Canada. All right, cool.
You could.
I can't actually move a lot of places and bring my pit bull. So, and that's like a really big problem for me. Like, I'm like, nope, no, we're not doing that.
I see. Here's the thing about us. This is the thing about us. We don't hate any of these things, but getting into our country is a bit of a pain in the ass, right? So I don't know if you could actually bring your pit bull. We like pit bulls, but I don't know if we could bring your. It's a weird thing. You're gonna have to look that up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll pay money. That's fine.
Oh no. That's not. That's not.
Yeah.
No, we have a. Our government is incredibly good at mediocre. We'll just like incredibly good at it, right? Yeah, right. So
I've heard some people say. They're like, "Oh yeah, we have free healthcare, but it's going to take me 10 months to get a doctor's appointment or whatever." So
our healthcare is better than yours, but that's not like Canada makes this mistake. We compare ourselves to you guys too much, and what I mean by that,
there's a shit ton of other countries out there.
So. There are, but we don't compare to you. Now, there are some things we can definitely point at, and
I don't know if I'd compare to us right now. It's not a good idea.
Well, the thing is that we this is our insecurity. See, this as a country, like. Again,
right.
Ask your friend Chuck. He'll tell you the same thing.
I mean, we do share a border, so
that's part of it. That is part of it. That's part of it. There are other parts to it as well, but that is part of it. But what it is okay. For example, our healthcare is better than yours, but your bar is kind of like down here, like it's really low. Us saying it's better than yours is not the victory you think it is, right? I'm just saying, right? It's not. So
what I love is that my husband got a raise, so I have to pay more for my health care.
Yeah, your system's fucked. Like there's no like I said, your health system is.
If I wasn't self-employed, it would be a different, but still.
But I mean, you find interesting ways to cheat down there, and that's all we're gonna say about that. I mean, as a result of
and
this,
I don't like having to do that, And
no,
to a degree. Like I kind of want to go on this comic cruise though, because I can write that off.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean that is one of the advantages of living in your country. You write stuff off better than we do, actually, which is weird, and yet that's just the way it is. At least some things anyway.
I don't know that the tax loopholes are a good thing overall, especially because you have like the bigger companies exploiting them. And so it doesn't actually help the people who really kind of need it anyway. So I mean, do I pay a little bit less in taxes? Sure. But I mean, like it is a little bit.
All right, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to play the devil's advocate end of this, and I'm going to say that then I'm going to play this. If it were me, I would design the whole system with loopholes. But the thing is, I would be very specific about the loopholes, because here's the thing: if I know where you're putting your money, I don't care. I just want to know where you're putting your money. So that's the devil's advocate aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
So you want, and you do need, and especially, let's be honest, again, your government is as mediocre as mine. I don't necessarily want them to be competent at certain things, right? Right. So I look at it like, if you're gonna rig a game, that's fine. Make sure everybody knows the rules, and because everybody wins.
No, a lot of people don't know. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
when I say loophole, I don't know that I'm really exploiting loopholes, but I'll write off whatever I can. You know?
Yeah.
And
I don't even fault companies for doing this either. What I look at though, and this is just as my perspective is, what was the intent, the initial intention? For example, like I'll give you a good example. Lobbying as a concept is a good one. You have a complaint, you should be able to go to your leader and talk about something that pothole on the street. Hey, motherfuckers, can you actually fucking fix my pothole? Right?
Yeah.
That's not that, like, that is a use of lobbying. It's a great use of lobbying. I shouldn't have, but lobbying today very much now is corporations advising politicians on where and how to do things. That's never was the intention of lobbying, right? So the devil's advocate in me would go, if they're using loopholes that were originally just designed for them to begin with, I'm not going to complain as much.
But I would go with you on as much, because I don't know that just because we have rules that have been in place from the beginning, that doesn't make them all good.
No, and that's something that has to be examined.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's an honest examination. But again, at the very least, it's like, okay, if the intention and the result is what it is, it's not all wrong. Now, it might not be all right, but at least it's not all wrong. Whereas, for example, right? Again, I mentioned lobbying, right? Right. That's one example. So, right, lobbying was that the original intention. You, with group of people locally in town, go to your leader to express a concern over something in the neighborhood. That is the intent of lobbying.
It's like lining up for the king.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but that's the thing, right? That open dialogue between people and politician.
Yeah.
Not corporate overlord and rich bitch here versus other rich politician here.
Well, because they're generally not interested in the well-being of the community as much. So
no, and again, strictly devil's advocate, they're not obligated to be, but again, it's taking. I'm not talking the government here. I'm talking the companies here. They're not necessarily obligated to do that. They're not going, and you can't fault them for that. But what you can say is, okay, it shouldn't be such an exclusive club. The moment you make it an exclusive club, now what happens is now you've cut off the average person's voice.
Yeah.
Right, and as such, right. So that's the difference, right? So the system might not be perfect even prior to this, but if, for example, there was a lane created for certain things to happen a certain way, and that lane is essentially working as it was intended to, right? Now we can argue, is it too much still or too little? But it's a better spot than, hey, this thing that was for the people, by the people, now nobody uses. Yeah. Right? Or nobody can use. Right? And that's there's
a barrier to entry.
Yeah, and that's a bigger problem. I would like that stuff is more important to fix than the other stuff. The other stuff may still need to be fixed, but again, when you have so many broken little pieces to the puzzle, right? The big stuff is important, and the biggest problem doesn't matter where you are in the world, is this: the average person does not have a voice to their leaders. There's no communication that way, and which is ironic, because there should be. Look at what we're doing. We're bullshitting on you're what, California?
Yeah.
You're in California, I'm in Canada. And we're bullshitting about politics and how we fix the world. And we talked manga and anime. And we're having a good conversation. We talked about booze. We talked about cruises. Right? So it's easy to talk to people today. It's really easy. So why isn't this being applied on a larger scale?
I mean, to be fair, obviously we can't have millions of people like ringing the president, right? Like there's not enough time, but how do you make it so that those individuals can, you know?
You have to create an access point that the president has to deal with.
Yeah.
Not just the president, your local
Right.
constituents, your representatives, and not just the traditional stuff. Maybe that's the final thing I'll say. Then we'll move past the political thing. Here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Like the final.
Right.
So here's the thing. You have a bunch of geriatric old men running the country, and you've had these same people. So this is just I've said this to Samoki dude is there. He'll probably acknowledge this, and he'll feel really guilty saying this, right? I have told him that you've essentially chosen the same president for 40 years. Doesn't matter which party you look at. I can look at.
I don't know if exactly, but
it's closer than you think. No. It's closer than you think it is, right? Even the ones that seem different aren't, right? Like a lot of people hate.
Or they aren't as much.
Well, I'll give you an example. A lot of people hated Trump for obvious reasons.
Uh-oh. Joshua left us. So, let's see. I'm going to check my Facebook real quick just to see if he's messaging me there. All right. Let's see. Okay, these are the headless gnomes, Indrian and Atrian. They are my mascots. If Josh asks about them later, we will have talked about them twice. So, but there you go. They can take their heads off. Isn't that like super cool? I don't know if I could find a use for that myself, but they find a use for it. So I think that's cool. Dope. Yes, it is dope. And it's not painful. They're good. They don't like, like it's weird, but not scary. I mean, it's kind of like scary if you see them walking around without heads, I guess, but it's not like horrifying or something like that. Okay, Josh says he'll be back. I don't know when though. So I don't know what to talk about. Let's see. What do I have? Well, this isn't good for the audio version, but this is good for the video version. This is actually, this was like a free day one sticker for my Kickstarter, but now it's, is that curious? Yeah. Now it's an add-on because day one is gone. So sadly can't go back in time to day one to get it for free, but it's now an add-on and it's adorable. I'd like keep them all myself, but that seems a little bit too much. I don't know what I do with them. I don't know what I do with stickers anyways. I like them and then they don't go anywhere. It's kind of sad. More stickers. Wait a sec. Maybe. Okay. Oh. All right. Well, it's supposed to be some okay, dude, or is it supposed to be like okie? Don't know. In the chat. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that. Yeah. That makes sense. Any fun Halloween plans? I can't believe it's so soon. It's on Monday. Monday's like a terrible day for Halloween, though. I mean, it's not like Halloween's fault. My computer froze. Exit, and I was somebody. Okay. we're exiting and coming back. So bye for now. We'll be back.
So, for anyone wondering why Leanne had to perform by herself there for a few minutes there, because I'm sorry about that. My computer decided that my C drive, my Windows drive, decided to crash right then and there. There was a lot of reboots, let me tell you, lots and lots of reboots. But we finally figured this out. So I gotta say this first, and I'm gonna say this publicly, and I've said this privately. I want to thank Leanne for her unbelievable patience, because
thank you. I was getting like real sleepy earlier, but I got some food and now I'm like, okay, I'm awake again. So
no, I appreciate, like, I'm just saying this like this because I want you to understand, like, that was not intended. It's like one of those like we'll talk about evil kittens for almost the rest of this podcast. But what I want to say though is, you did not have to be as nice as you are. So I'm just going to say it publicly. No, I'm serious. Thank you very much for being understanding. It was like
a bummer, but it's not like you just left, or something.
Yeah, no.
Just like, bye, ghosting you. Okay, like that. I might not be so nice about that.
No. At that point, no. At that point, no. So I got a fun story, and we'll So
okay.
I had a gentleman who did some pretty cool stuff in Calgary, and I was trying to get him on the show, and we come up to like a date and time. He picked the date. He picked the time. I sent him the confirm button, like right after. It's like, okay, cool, do it. So the day up, I contact him. It's like, I'm looking forward. I'm excited. He gives me this email back. I'm sorry, I got a bunch of meetings at that time. And keep in mind, he picked the date, he picked the time, and then on top of that, he goes, "You should have sent a confirmation email." To which I said to him, "I did send you a confirmation email right after."
Yeah.
Needless to say, he's kind of on my shit list now.
Yeah, I've had a couple of from work clients before who wouldn't be late for multiple meetings, and I'm like, okay, no, this needs to stop because not cool, Every once in a while, sure, but if this is a recurring thing, they expect me to be on time, so I'm like, you gotta also be on time,
Well, no, what it comes down to is this: if I understand what's going on, I can be incredibly forgiving. Here's the thing, folks. I kept in contact with Leanne throughout this whole process. She got to watch the Gong Show. I was witnessing as well. Kind of makes it a little easier to understand. It's like there really wasn't much I could do about it, right?
No.
So that's the thing. So because I communicated, I get forgiveness, right? That's just how this works. And it's such an amazingly simple thing to do.
Yeah. Well, even if somebody's like, "Oh shit, sorry, I forgot to schedule this," that's way better. It's not great, but it's way better.
Well, okay, so that actually happened. One of my guests, because she went to me when I was like, "Hey, are you ready to go?" Because I woke up getting ready to do this, and she was like, "Oh shit, listen, I am sorry." She immediately apologized, which slightly different perspective, right?
Yeah.
I know we talked about something like this. I did not put this on my calendar like I should. I can go in 45. Somebody just told me, listen, you want to just go tomorrow instead? And she was like, oh, yeah. You know what? I'll put it on my calendar. I'm sorry. Know what the key difference in that?
Mm-hmm.
She owned it. She owned it right away. Huge, which is, again, you don't want, none of us are perfect. And Lord knows I'm not, right? So I will, if I know what's going on and I understand exactly what the issue is, I'm far more likely to let things happen.
Yeah.
Right? I'm far more likely to be like, okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. You try to bring me for your shit, or you try to bring your shit into the game, then it's a giant bird. It's like, I'm not with your sorry ass. So once again, thank you very much. I just feel like
no problem.
Yeah.
I went kind of wide-eyed when you disappeared. I was like, So I talked about my gnomes for a minute, and I showed off my sticker, and then that was about it because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing now.
No, it's all fair. No, it's totally all fair. No, because like it wasn't. No, I need a new computer. I'm trying to get to Christmas because if I get to Christmas, I'll have the money to get a really nice system. Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal. So, 2 more months.
See, that's what I'm saying Black Friday though, because weren't the sales a little better?
Yeah, but Black Friday. Okay, so Black Friday is the closest. Like we're talking about, like mock zombie apocalypses. That's a zombie apocalypse that is not fun. Like Black Friday is just like,
yeah, but you can do it online. You know.
You can't. There are pros and cons to that. Like especially, I work for the shipping industry. I know what time of year is a bad time of year to go. I don't want to order anything. You don't want to order anything from like November 21st to December 21st if you can avoid it. You just don't want to.
Like, because it's going to take too long to get to you?
Yeah, big time.
Okay.
Yeah, big time. That's what happened. Like that time of year, and also the other thing too, I'm just being straight up because I've been on there. They don't give a fuck. Legitimately, they don't.
I cannot tell you how many packages I have had that like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's true, right? That time of year, especially though, it's the one time of year I give them a pass because they have so much shit they're dealing with, right? So that's the disadvantage. So yeah, you can go online. I'm not saying you can't, but that's the con. That's the big con with it. Now, going out in public, you can get your stuff that day, but you have to deal with the
a little bit more hectic. Yeah,
you have to deal with it's not even the hectic part. It's the the closest I've seen it. I've seen it a few times over there where people are banging on the doors and trying to get access. Like I've seen some stupid stuff in the States. The closest I've ever seen that in Canada was a train delay and watching a bunch of businessmen actually nearly overturn a bus. Trying to get on that.
That doesn't help them get anywhere.
I know that. It's like, I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. Like, so you got a choice. You you go online, which is, depending on the website and company, relatively efficient. Yeah. But you got to deal with who the fuck knows what you're going to get with the shipping.
Yeah. But you can pay for you could upgrade your shipping though. As long as it's still like a better deal overall.
Yeah. That gets tricky. With a computer, that's tricky. I find right. I'm getting a new computer. Let's be honest. This computer is about 5 years old. It's done its thing. I can't complain. But
mine's about there, and I'm trying to make it last longer. But at this point, I need more CPU, which means that I probably need a new motherboard. So
you might as well just get
a new computer.
Yeah, you might as well just get a new system at that point, right?
But if I can avoid replacing everything, that would be more ideal.
Well, here's the thing. Like there's one of the companies up here does refurbished systems, so they're like about 2 years old, which is totally fine. It's like significantly cheaper. Like I can. So that's what I'm looking at. Like I don't need, like, for me, as long as I can do my videos and my audio stuff, I'm good. And also, this computer, I didn't have as much say about what was on the computer when I got it. The next one, I'll have a lot more say, and that will be better for me. You know what I mean? So I might be able to make a really good system. Yeah, but five to set, like, if you don't abuse the computer, and let's be honest, we're artists, we abuse the shit out of our computers.
I think I counted over 100 tabs the other day, so.
You're just vicious. Why are you bullying your machine? They're just like trying, like, again. I was joking with.
I'm not ready to go through all of them, and also some of them like I legit like do go to like every day. So.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So that might be okay. We'll say. Well, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say a dozen. Okay. Probably closer to half dozen, but we'll say a dozen.
Well, I got like 3. I have like 4 different windows for my clients.
Okay.
That are open during the week.
That's fair.
Because I don't want to open them every morning.
No,
I have to go to all the sites, and then those have anywhere between 5 to 20 tabs. And then I've got like my personal ones, and then my business ones, and then my business like website and tracking and links and mailing list. And then most everything else is like whatever the heck stuff that I should probably like go through and eventually close out. Something like that.
You abuse your system. That's okay. It's okay. So yeah, this, folks, is why 5 years is usually the shelf life of a machine, right? Where like that's over that right. I do a lot of video and audio work. I don't have as many tabs, but I do a lot of video, so it does take
Oh,
its
I was
toll.
pushing it. I was working in Premiere the other day, and I still had all my tabs open. Yeah, because I had to do my Kickstarter video, and so it kind of froze on me like every 3 minutes.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah.
I know. That's your video card. That's your video card giving you the bird. Like that's like
Yeah.
I'm saying this like as somebody that does this, like I know this, like that's your video card hating you just a little bit, and going 3 minutes per action is that finger to you just basically say, what the fuck?
I got through it eventually.
You can. Yeah. So let's see. It's three. Let's see. About 1 minute video. But give or take, about 1 minute video, a little less.
Was it 2 minutes and like 20 seconds or something?
2 minutes 20 seconds. That's
the file I was editing was like 20 minutes, which was more improved from last time because I actually got through my script like pretty decently and like didn't, I had a couple mistakes, but not as many.
It's like one of my clients, I'm doing a Kickstarter video. It's going to be 50 seconds, the first video. Then I'm going to do
I've heard a rule of not longer than 2 minutes.
I try to go a little shorter than that. I try to go about a minute. Here's why. It's because then you can send the Kickstarter video to Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat, and you can just bombard your social media with that.
I could maybe cut it at select parts and export a 1 minute.
Yeah, no, so with Instagram, far be it for me to tell you what to do because your project's pretty awesome. We're coming to that, but for video stuff, 90 seconds. I like a minute. A minute feels like the right time, but if you must go longer, right?
I feel like all the like important stuff is up front, really. So
yeah, I get it, but so to me, like I'm dabbling with marketing a little bit, and I want to tell a story with marketing. I do, but I also realize like here's the thing. I mean, you got this really. If you can make it fun, go as long as you want. But you can make it fun, right? But if
the board game ones go long. I think most of the board game ones go a little bit longer
because everyone wants to play the cool shit, right? Let's be honest. Like, if I go to you, hey Leanne, do you want to buy something? You're looking at me. It's like, why are you doing this to me? See, right? You see that look on your face? Right? It's like, yeah.
But you didn't even say what do I want to buy. So
no, exactly. Again, but the impulse. Now, same thing. Hey Leanne, you want to play a game? Now it's a slightly different reaction. You're like, you're not for sure in, but you're curious. What kind of game? Because it's like you're not against the idea, but you're not sure yet because I haven't given you enough information, right?
My true answer is probably yes, but I gotta go work on my business. So bye.
Yeah, that might no. See. I'm gonna call a little bit of bullshit there, just a little, not completely. Sometimes
it happens often. It happens often.
Sometimes no. Sometimes adult Leanne has to win, right?
Let's wait. The game or like has to win what?
No. Adult Leanne has to win in return for her business because she likes to eat. But every once in a while, if I make it sound fun enough, you'll fucking forget for like an hour. You're like, you know what? I can hold this off an hour.
Yeah.
I'll play a game. Hours later, you're like, what the fuck did I do with my life? But you're not really regretting it. You are and you're not at the same time, right? So there's human nature. It's just a human nature thing. Tell me to buy something, I'm going to have my guard up. Tell me that I can play and interact with something on the other hand. Hey, you want to have some fun? Like I'm again, it's just human psychology. I'm into it. I may not be able to do it for long because I'm a fucking adult. But
the joys.
Listen, we talked about Spy X Family. I mean, it's not like we're both adults here. Though actually, you might be more of an adult than me. I don't know.
I mean, we technically are. It's just like I was having this weird thought the other day. I was like, I haven't asked my mom yet, but I kind of want to ask her like, did you like feel like an adult at this age? Do you feel like an adult now? Like what? And
Oh
I
God, no.
partially because I feel like there was like a little bit of a different mentality too, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the internal, mechanisms. I don't know.
Here's the difference between this is the difference between me at 20 and me at 40. This is what I've noticed about myself. I don't want to be the adult. I can be. Right. That's how I look at like if
Well,
the
and
big
sometimes they have to be.
no, so no, we'll get to that in just a second. No, sometimes you have to be.
Yeah.
But when you got like, okay, like look, for example, I'm responsible. Now I had to spend 3 fucking hours fixing this computer tonight. But if things had gone to plan,
Right.
I've been working on the video. I have a rough draft of the video done now. And now I'm gonna be up probably till about 5, 6 in the morning to get this done because I am a trained motherfucking professional and I need to be an adult.
Well, you don't have to finish. You don't have to finish editing tonight.
No, I don't have to, but I have a schedule because Friday I have to go to another. I'm going out of town, like not really out of town. I'm going to one of the suburbs outside the city for a film site, and I'm discussing a show I'm working on. So I have another job. So I'm trying to be an adult, and at least I don't necessarily need to finish the job tomorrow, but I want it well in hand. If that makes sense, right? I want it well in hand.
So I actually find that this is a problem sometimes. And in some ways it can actually be a form of procrastination. Sometimes it depends on how you use it. Like for me, I procrastinate by cleaning.
Yes.
Because it's really easy to tell myself, oh, this needs to be done. It needs to be done now. I can't do it tomorrow.
Yep. And what you're doing is what you're doing is there's a bigger problem in front of you that you don't want to deal with right this minute.
Usually a blank page. So
yeah. No, that's how it goes, right? Right. That's the way. Like the. This is like the adult. Like this is the big difference between me now and me in my 20s. Me now will grin and bear the blank page, at least a little bit. Like today, the other thing I did today, I handed in a first comics column about Parker Girls by Terry Moore because it's a really fun book. And like I said, and I literally summed it up. I actually got a response from Terry Moore. Actually,
nice.
Yeah, he was like, "Dude, that was a great review. It made my day." It's like that's a really that's a cool thing. And the whole thing was, and I said, if I had to sum up this book in 2 words, it's poor Mark. Because the main character, because Mark, oh my God, not Pratchett. I want to say Pratchett because it's almost Pratchett-esque. Like, more tortures this motherfucker for 2 issues. And, like, guy deserves it, but you still kind of feel sorry for him at the end of it. So you're like he how, like that, like, he just, it was one of those comedy of errors kind of things where it's like, so, yeah, sum up 2 issues. Poor Mark. I talk about the issues in greater detail and depth because Terry Moore is awesome. But yeah, poor Mark. So I'm almost thinking this Mark guy's gonna get tortured again in issue 3 in some way. And there's a part of me looking forward to it. I mean, that's a little bit of a, because I'm a sadistic asshole. But again, that's
and Mark isn't real, so.
Oh, it marked it like okay, I am just perverse enough. I am honestly perverse enough. If I think you kind of deserve it, I will enjoy it a little bit. I am perverse enough to do that. There are some, now I don't
depends for me, it depends on like what it is,
Okay, so yeah,
there are some things where I'm like, no, nobody deserves this.
Like, no. There are things nobody like that. Like again, I don't want this necessarily to see. There are different kinds of suffering. I don't mind someone getting hit in the ego. Very rarely does that right. Hit right in the ego is not a terrible thing, right? And depending on how stupid they were, because if this wasn't a first time, some people repeat their mistakes. So if the crime escalates to their stupidity, I'm not saying I necessarily am perversely enjoying it, but I'm also not feeling sorry for them anymore.
Yeah, not feeling bad.
Yeah, I don't. It's like I don't really think I really.
It's hard to sympathize.
Well, there's a point, right? Like, so I'll give you a fun high school story. I had a buddy. He came out with a plan. This is London, Ontario. This is back in the days when weed was not as common, right, as it is now. This is like mid 90s. So he came up with a plant that smells like weed. He found a plant. No, at a flower shop. Now this is wild. So he starts selling it to different people. Oh no, this gets wild. He starts buying these plants. He starts selling the roots and stuff for that. So he was a dumbass. This is why I don't feel bad for him. What happened to him afterwards, right? He goes to the plant store and buys more of these plants, and the plant lady just asks him, "What's he doing with them?"
Oh, no.
You know what he did? You know what he did? He told her. Now here's the thing. Do you know who ran the drugs operation in that area?
Oh no.
The plant lady.
What's that thing about like flower shops are always a front or something?
Oh, most small businesses are. Most of them are. At least on some level, they every small business.
I'm a small business.
You don't have a storefront. If you had a storefront, also, if you do you?
Well, I mean, convention tables, but that's, you know,
it's not quite the same thing. It's not quite the same thing.
Convention tables cost enough, much less of a building. So
depending on the convention, yes. Some conventions you're like, what the fuck? But like, especially in California, you're in Cali.
All to say, I can't afford a building, so
yeah.
To rent one, even, you know, something.
Yeah. So, put it this way: some of these small business people, they can't afford it either. So they come up with some creative ways to make ends meet, right? So that was her creative end to make ends meet. And he told her exactly what happened. So I didn't really feel sorry when he got beat, right? Like, I didn't really feel sorry for him because he made two critical mistakes. One, he should never have done it to begin with. And the second thing was he told, if you are going to do something like this, right? I'm not saying do it, but if you are going to do something like this, don't fucking tell anybody.
Unless you like know the person you're, you know.
Even then, I may not. You want to know why? Not because even the loose lips sink ships thing. It's also the fact is, if they don't know, chances are they're not going to be in harm's way. If something happens to me, I fuck up, right? If I tell somebody, there's a risk now that they know that something will happen to them, and I don't want that risk. Again, it's just right. It's just like I might secretly be a supervillain. I might just say, but that's neither here nor there. But all I'm just saying is, if you're gonna do, I don't think it's like this kind of approach is a good idea. But if you are going to do it, keep your mouth shut. just keep your mouth shut, because whatever you get by opening your mouth, you kind of deserve. It's kind of hard for me to go look at you and go, well, I did see this beating coming for you, but I mean,
although like it is kind of like, I mean, it wasn't an actual drug, so like
you're still cheating people. Like that's the thing is you're cheating people. You're telling.
I guess it's a problem if they were her customers, because then, yeah, okay. If they weren't her customers, then like, you know, whatever.
No, then you have a slightly different conversation with him.
Yeah,
it's a different conversation. No, it was her customers. So
yeah. Did he know that?
No.
I mean, it was still stupid, but you know, at least he didn't like know that and then still do it.
Yeah. Well, no, if you know
that would have been like an extra level of, you know. Yeah.
Well, no, not that's beyond stupid. Now you're just asking for it. That's basically right. That's beyond stupid. You just
so what was the plant?
I forget what it was. It was just like something she sold. It was just like it's in the same family as the marijuana plant. That's all I knew for sure. Okay. Right. It was a buddy of a buddy that told me this story because he disappeared for a while. It's like, what happened to him? And he's like, oh, you didn't hear? It's like, no. And he told me that he told me it's like what happened. It was just like, why would he do that? He thought it was a good way to make some money. And yeah, well, I mean, I guess, but yeah, I mean, you.
I kind of feel like that could be a manga, though.
It totally could. It totally could. That sounds like one. Yeah. Like it could be even a really fun like B movie. Like you could actually do some really fun stuff with this, right? And also they'd be cheap to make too because you only need like 3 sets. Like the guy's home, the plant shop and just like a random street corner, and you
So
can have a
one
story.
thing I heard, you'd have to make it favorable though, is that some of the cannabis places will try to fund like things that give them like good press. So if you're like making a movie, like they might give you some money. That's obviously that's making cannabis look good, not like.
Well,
anyways.
here's the thing: if you make it a period piece, like when before cannabis has the reputation, they might go for it because this takes place in like the 90s, right? Not now, right? So now, I actually had this really strange idea to do a prohibition style movie, like legitimately. And
Wait,
it's
was
like,
that a thing in Canada too, or would this be a
oh yeah,
US setting?
oh no, it was a thing in Canada too, although not
Mhm.
necessarily the same way. I'd have to look to be absolutely sure. It was mostly a United States thing. I mean, that's how you got Al Capone, is through that wonderful thing. You decided to ban alcohol, and you made Al Capone. Who knew?
Mhm.
You guys have an interesting history. That's what I will say.
An interesting short history.
Where ours is even shorter. Like
it's not that much shorter though, right?
about 120 years shorter. It's
Mhm,
not it
okay.
like in the
See,
grand scheme of
we don't care about you guys enough to know that.
no, you don't, and you're right not to.
I probably wouldn't remember anyways. Even if they did teach me that, I wouldn't remember dates. Oh my god, no.
No, dates. No, they're the worst thing to remember. Like
Yeah.
only reason why I remember date, like, so I took ancient civilizations back in
Oh,
like,
ancient civilizations. I
yeah.
heard that wrong.
Yeah. What did you hear?
Now I'm trying to remember.
You're a hoot.
I think it sounded like agent,
Ancient
and then
civilization.
something. But it was yeah, agent, and then something else.
Yeah, no, ancient civilizations, right? So
That makes more
what I learned,
sense though.
and the reason I remember history a lot more because I was able to make connections between then versus now a lot more. Like Rome to the United States today is like a very easy, natural thing, and I actually got an A and this was my comment from my teacher: interesting and scary. He's like,
Yeah.
you
So
are,
are we reaching those that end point there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pandemic kind of sped some things up, right? But I mean, there is a good news side of it. There is one good news to it. I mean, depending on what we choose in the next 10 years, we actually might get something better out of it. It's up to us. Like, it really, no, it's up to all of us.
Wait, how do I? There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mentioned this before around the air. Like, you pay attention to you've elected the same geriatric old men for decades now.
Yeah.
They're all essentially the same, and that's part of, and that's the problem. It all looks the same and acts the same, and we're not in that same time anymore. We're moving into something else, and that's always an exciting thing. Okay, consider this. Okay, you're doing comics on Kickstarter. If you really sit there and think about everything you've done, you made videos, you wrote a story, you put
Too many
together
things.
You're a badass.
So many things.
No, but I want you to like distant one distance thing.
Yeah.
You're an absolute badass.
Aw.
No, seriously. You wrote a book, you marketed a book, you've created video, you're going on here making an ass of yourself with me, right? And it'd be like the best possible way. You're willing to put yourself out there. I mean, you are an example of, you are a Renaissance woman by the true definition is you have a myriad of skills.
Oh my god. Sometimes it's too many. I'm like,
No, I agree. No, there's always that's too many, but
there are times when I really wish I could hire people for stuff.
yeah, no,
I like learning, like I really like learning, but there are times when I'm like, I just need to.
you just
I
don't
don't
have
want to. Yeah.
I get it, but can I finish the compliment I'm giving you?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
You're an amazing person, but you're not the only one. There's so many people like that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that we all have so many different skills that we can legitimately do. That's an incredible thing. If you sit there
And
and
I
think
think
about
that
that.
part of that is because we have more access to learning.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's not like people couldn't learn those things before, but you didn't have things like YouTube where you can go and look for a tutorial for like almost anything.
YouTube University is fantastic.
Oh,
Like
I didn't even know that that was a thing.
no, I call that's what I call YouTube. YouTube
Oh,
is
okay,
actually
okay.
it's my nickname for it because
Yeah.
honestly, okay, so
For parts of it, I don't know about all of it.
okay. Social media. Let's be honest, okay? Social media has one part use, two parts dumpster fire. Every one of them. Okay. Facebook, I make great connections like yourself. That's the good. The bad news is I get to hear everybody's political bents, and you heard mine, and you didn't kill me, so I'm grateful for that. Number one.
And doom scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just I'm done with that, right? Twitter has, if you actually want to get caught up on current events, minute by minute, Twitter does that better than any other system on the planet. It is actually the best news source. Assuming you can get around the dumpster. It is the best news source.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's the best always. True.
No. Again, if you use it as a news source, it can be a great thing.
Yeah.
If you are using it for social interaction, you like the algorithms tend to put you with people that want that fight you. They want you to fight. So that's again. So one part useful, two parts dumpster fire, and you got to recognize.
I'm just getting no comments on Twitter, so you know.
I get all kinds of cool stuff on Twitter, but like I said, I apparently people like my big mouth. I don't know. Maybe I got a skill, right? Like I said, I got Terry Moore to comment today about my review. So I mean, maybe I'm doing something right or not. Again, I'm on something or I'm onto something. I'll let you decide. But again, there's useful things to all these platforms. YouTube's use is education. You can learn anything on YouTube. Anything. Yeah. There's also a lot of shit on YouTube. But I mean, you can learn.
There's some good entertainment too.
Oh, sure. There's absolutely like the old. I was a big sucker for the angry video game nerd back in the day, because he would review terrible games from the Nintendo system. So I'd have like a nostalgia to my childhood right there on top of. And he also would do some fun skits. Like the first Bugs Bunny thing, he actually played the role of the Bugs Bunny sucker. Right, Bugs would outsmart him for like the good chunk of it, and then it became the shows like angry video game nerd stuff. But he had like he would do stuff like that. It'd be fun. So there's some creative stuff on YouTube. Sure, there's a lot of shit. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like social media, I try to be. You've seen my posts on social media. It's like I think you've seen a few of them. I tend to.
I know. I gotta go comment on some because I don't know if I'm seeing as many. Because it's like if you don't, then you go down.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. No,
no offense, but it's just
no, like, it's truth.
But I don't think many people go to people's profiles that often, and that's what you have to do to like get people back on your feed.
Oh, I do it all the time because of what I do. So I always have a very active feed. I get to see what everybody's doing.
Right.
For the most part, there are people I don't want to see. There's just but there's a mute button if I really think it's terrible. And
there were a couple of friends who I'm like, okay, I like you, but I need to we're just gonna not see your post for a little bit because
well,
your stuff is triggering me, and we just it's like it's not necessarily their fault.
No,
but I need to
as long. No, yeah, I can make a post that could really rile you up, but maybe I hate all ninja anime. We'll just say that I hate all of it, all of it. Now you might be like,
I was going for more political.
Yeah, no,
and also like the I mean, I have some depression, but it's and every once in a while I might do a post. I try not to do too many because but every once in a while I might. But I have some friends who just every day, it's just doom every day, and so sometimes I was just like, you know what, I can't, I feel for you, but I can't see this right now myself,
So I generally have a rule with people, and that's this: is if I feel like this is a legitimate cry for help, I'm there. If it's but I also find Facebook, the Facebook and Twitter are both very bad for virtue signaling too. And I kind of go, are you legit about this, or are you just saying what about me? Yeah. And if I feel like you're about what about me and you're not legit, I kind of just bail on you, and I just do at this point, and because like that's the stuff I hate the most. But
Well, I think
that's
that
me.
people are posting that's like every day. Like at some point, it's like I do feel bad, but at the same time, like, you know, you got to do something.
Mhm. That's it.
And
No,
like
it's
I'm
true for
not
everybody.
perfect at that, but like, yeah,
I just posted my motivation for Thursday, and this is what I said because I actually interviewed somebody before you today too, and we
mm,
ended up talking. She made a comment about I will never break again. I said that's can you make? I told her you want some advice. She goes, yeah, sure. I go, you are going to break again, right? We all do. Every single one of us. There are moments all of us get absolutely crushed, and that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying that I want you to be
yeah,
crushed, but
you might be able to handle it better, hopefully.
well, I've had my ass kicked pretty good in life in some moments, so I've learned how to do it. But we all have that moment. So we all have moments where we just break,
Yeah,
and that's okay. That is fine, but you got to get back up. At some point,
yeah,
you have to get back up. And if you're just going to stay down, there's a point I don't feel bad for you anymore because you're staying down. There's a point of choice. There's a time of mourning. My sister said this, and I think she's very wise. You must be strong enough to feel everything you feel, but then be wise enough to let it go.
mm,
And there's something very wise in that. And I think that's true with anything. When you break, yeah, you take a minute, mourn the breaks. They stay like it's okay to stay down for a minute, but eventually the count. If it's a boxing match, it's a standing 8 count. Eventually, at the count of 8, you got to get back up. You got to. So,
well,
but until,
the stages of grief, like grief isn't just people dying or pets or relationships ending. It can be so many other things, even like
yeah,
small things, that you can grieve them and it's legitimate, but you still got to get to the other side.
yeah, yeah, like that's the thing. Like ultimately, in one very real sense, life doesn't care what you're going through right at that moment. It's going to keep going.
Yay.
It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
So yeah, it's true, but
Yeah, yeah. But I mean that's something that has. But again, keep that. That doesn't mean you don't take a moment to let yourself feel
right,
it. But
yeah,
you keep in mind that it can it's a moment. Unless obviously if it's something huge, like hey, I just lost someone really close, maybe you take a little longer, or maybe you're going
yeah,
through a struggle. Then everything you have to go through is into that struggle. And that's fine, right? But the important thing is you're trying and people can see that you're trying. That's it. If I see you're trying, I have infinite patience with you. If I think you're just staying down and just feeling sorry for yourself, eventually I'm just gonna get sick of it. And I think that's just a very human thing.
yeah, for sure. On
Because
that note,
I know. Actually, let's talk evil kittens. Because you got evil kittens
yeah,
here. Your Kickstarter's up, isn't it?
yeah, no, it went up yesterday. This is day 2, so I am actually really I feel bad because sometimes I'm like, man, I want to see the number go higher and higher, and I'm like, oh, don't be greedy, but like I think it's just kind of like somewhat human nature too. Like I just want to keep seeing it go up.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like honestly.
But
Okay,
we are doing really good, and I'm really happy about that. I'm really grateful, and I'm behind on thanking everybody. So I need to go tomorrow. I need to go and individually thank everybody. So that's on my
that's
to-do
awesome.
list.
First off,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I feel terrible because my dollar's a joke right now. Because it's just like I'm finally in a position where I can start getting
Yeah.
like spending some money. When does your Kickstarter go to until again?
22nd of November, because I didn't feel like doing it through the American Thanksgiving this time. So I didn't.
So so you so now I'm torn. Do I support your evil kitten comic before I fix my computer, or do I fix my computer and then support something in December? I think
Mhm.
I'm see. So first, let's for those people who haven't heard what you like. You made vampire kittens, like seriously.
Yes. Oh, not plural, but
You have a vampire cat. I figure you
yeah,
should have an
yeah.
army by now. This is issue 2, right? He should be
Oh,
making
no,
his
I
army.
can't. Yeah, I can't spoilers anything.
Okay, okay.
So,
No spoilers.
no spoilers. At least not like anything big, you know, because it's gonna
Okay.
be like it's not gonna be a long series, like a by the definition of some stuff, but I'm thinking like 4 trades.
Oh wow. So
So I mean that's decently long.
that's longer than some professional series from big companies, right? Some companies only last. So I mean,
I mean,
you
it's not
got
longer than Batman, but
yeah, but no one wants to be longer than Batman.
I
No
don't
one
think I could be
does.
alive long enough to, you know.
So maybe if you Marvel methoded everything, like you did a Marvel method and that's all you did was all Marvel all the time,
Mm.
right? Then maybe, just maybe, you could get there.
And I was like already a billionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then you get there, and then you probably would hate the Marvel method after about 1 year of doing it, because you'd be like, I want to tell real stories. Well, actually, or I don't. I don't want to add just words to these stories. Let me tell the stories. But that's you don't need
Sometimes I have to subtract words.
yes, that's okay.
Mm.
That's part of the writing process. I have to
Mm.
too. I do prose as well, right? So it's like,
Oh yeah, I can't talk about. I don't know how much I can talk about the other one because it's not up yet. But I have my first short story in this. Oh wow, there we go. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
the first short, like non self-published short story. I've self-published some others. So
awesome. Hold on a second. My computer decided to do something. Am I still there?
you're still there, yeah.
Okay,
You're still
cool.
here.
I'm still here. So we're gonna try to rush this out
All
because
right,
because
just in
I think
case.
just in
Yeah.
case this goes.
All right.
So I can't put the link up because it won't let me go back to the
That's okay.
yeah. So
It's
here, so
well, so
real
I have an
quick,
easy redirect, which is fangsandfoulplay.com, and that goes to the Kickstarter.
okay. So folks, listen, fangsandpowplay.com. It is, again, it's a vampire cat. It is one of the coolest ideas I've ever seen for vampires, and you should definitely check it out now. By the time this airs as an audio, I'm still
Like
there.
halfway or so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like by the time this airs as an audio, it'll be an amazing. Why did you do that, my evil system? That's okay. Um, I don't know if it's my computer or Google Chrome at this point. It might be
Ooh,
Chrome. Might be Chrome being evil, but I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. So, but anyways, Fangs and Foul Play is on now. It is a story about a vampire cat causing mischief and mayhem, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, technically Richard's the main character, but the first bit kind of feels like it's more the vampire cat Fang. We're gonna be getting more into Richard because he's the protagonist, and Fang is really the antagonist. So
Oh, so
yeah.
okay. Is it wrong? I'm going to want to root for Fang just by default.
No, 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 no. I'm sure there are lots of people rooting for Fang, so
So you know you need to
feel
do.
free.
You know what you need to do. You need to do like a team, a team version of there it goes, kind of sort of. You need to do a team version of Team Fang, Team Richard, Team Fang, Team
Oh,
Richard.
I don't have it in front of me, but literally, like with the free bookmark for the physical is like,
Yeah,
who would you vote for? Team Fang, Team Richard, Team Delilah, who she's like gonna be, more the leading lady coming in, and then I have buttons
you have buttons.
too. Yeah, buttons that are Team Fang or Richard or Delilah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's incredible. Oh man, and oh wait, hold on a second here.
You're there,
My
but you're like just kind of. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there it goes.
the light went
There.
off.
No, it finally came. It finally just about came back all the
Mm.
way. On second here.
So all these things are add-ons too.
So
But
Fangs and Foul Play.
mhm,
So FANGS. I want to make sure I
mhm,
got this right.
yeah,
And Foul Play.
FOUL. Yeah.
I can
Yes. Yeah. That is correct.
that is correct.
Yeah.
Excellent. No, my computer unfroze. So it's like, yeah, I think
Oh, okay.
it's probably a
Nice.
Chrome thing. So we got a little while
Yeah.
longer before we
Right.
wrap this up.
Uh.
But no, I mean it's really cool that you got your own series going, and happy you're doing more pros. I want to
Yeah,
ask
I've
you.
tried to do a little more because
Yeah,
I mean, I like doing comics. The nice thing with prose is I don't have to pay for art. So
Yeah, and also it's there. It actually makes you a better comic writer too. Actually,
Yeah,
um,
my poetry book, I just had my poetry book put out by a publisher too. So I write lots of things.
I know. I was really proud of
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
I was really no, I was really proud of you. I actually have like a bunch of poetry books out myself.
Oh,
So so
I don't know
so
if I've
I
seen those.
you might have. I've advertised them a few times. I don't do it. I don't do it all the
Hmm.
time because they're about a year old now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
so I did an Alice in Wonderland
Okay.
Greek mythology story. It's told in poetry form. It's Alice in
Oh,
Wonderland.
I
This
didn't
girl.
know that it was told in poetry. See, I saw that like the Alice book, but I thought it was, like
Oh, it's a poem. So
interesting. Okay.
yeah, no, I was asked to do it. Like initially, it was for an anthology. That's why the first one, like Our
Oh no,
Hero.
yeah.
So
Right.
she goes to me. So this is what she went to me like was like, hey, listen, I want you to do what you did with your poetry series. I accidentally got published traditionally with my poetry too. It was kind of like a weird, like awesome thing, right? So anyway, my a friend of mine, she was doing an anthology, liked that style. She goes, listen, can you do that with a Lewis Carroll story? And I was like, okay, sure, I'll do it. And
Well,
then
I mean, there are poems already in Alice in Wonderland too,
oh,
so
absolutely, no, absolutely no,
yeah.
no. So the whole story, the whole thing, the way this worked out was, I was like, what do I say about Lewis Carroll that hasn't already been said?
Mm,
Then I go to a bar. I
mm.
meet a girl with a Gorgon tattoo on her arm. She's really cute. I hit on her. She plays for the other team, but we're friends. Like
Oh, right.
we're
Okay.
friends.
Yeah.
We're still friends, but I mean, she plays for the other team.
Yeah.
And but I was like, she did such a really cool job. It's like I could put Medusa in an Alice in Wonderland story, and then something when I thought
Mm.
about that, it clicked. Oh my gosh, Alice and Pandora are the same character. They are. They are. Think about it.
I don't know Pandora Myth as much, but a little bit enough to kind of like
Okay.
kind of see it.
So let me explain. Pandora sees a box.
Yeah.
She
And so
wonders.
like Wonderland is kind of like the box.
Kind of. It's the thing is, it's about two girls
Mm,
who were curious. That's what it's about,
mm.
really, when you sit there and think about it. Pandora wondered what was in the box, so she opened it just out of curiosity. Alice sees this white rabbit and wonders what he's doing, so she follows him to see what he does. So both of them are curious girls that open it. Now, in my story, when Alice opens Pandora's box, she gets a certain Cheshire friend inside her head.
Mm.
So the lot of the dialogue with Alice is Alice and the cat going back and forth in her
Oh,
head.
nice.
Yeah. So no. So yeah. So I do. I enjoyed the what the quote unquote the Gilgamesh epic style poem, and it fits too.
Mm, hmm.
So I'm doing it in
Oh,
reverse.
my
So
mine are short, so
I started that way. I did no, like they can be honestly. There's a lot of great poetry that's short. E. Cummings is fantastic. I have friends that do Tonka style poets. I don't know if you know that
yeah. I
they
only heard about that
yeah.
sometime this year.
Yeah, there's lots
Yeah.
of different
I'm not
poetry.
a form person, so
There's nothing wrong with that.
but it's interesting. I mean, I've done some haiku, but like they're not really technically haiku, so
You cheated.
well, they don't usually have the seasons, so
Well, they don't need. I always thought that they didn't need the seasons.
well, that's a traditional thing is that you don't need to say spring, but the cherry blossoms bloom or something. You're referencing spring. Usually there's a season, and that's the traditional. So technically, if you don't put that, you're not doing like the original intent of haiku, I guess.
I'm a cheating cheater. The
Well,
cheat.
so many people don't do that. It's just
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But so, what are you most comfortable doing? Comics, poetry, or prose?
It depends a little bit on what my mood is,
Mm-hmm.
but probably poetry is what I have the most ideas for. And some of those ideas can sometimes work in other formats. Not necessarily the exact same story as I would tell in a poem, but like I might have a line idea or two, and I'm like, this could develop into something else over here. And then here's this poem based off of this line idea, you know? So I was reading this thing that was Douglas Adams said about the King Kakuju, I think. If I know the name of it, I may or may not be saying it correctly. The Golden Temple in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was the Golden Temple. No, I don't know. There's lots of temples, but I think it was that one. And his guide was talking about how it had been burned down multiple times, and he was like, "Well, so it's not the same building." And the guide's like, "No, it is the same building." He's like, "Well, no, but it burned down." And the guide's like, "Yes." It's like, "Well, so how is it the same building?" And they're like, "Well, the essence, the form, the soul of the building, it's the same building." So from that, I'm like, I got this, like, I haven't written the poem yet, but I had this start that was like, if a building can be a phoenix, and then I got to go write the rest.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
See, I think poetry is great comics, because I think comics lends itself to lyrics, like song lyrics really well.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Yeah, so if they can do it to lyrics, you can do it to poetry too.
Song lyrics are hard for me. I have not done many, and I don't know that I'm doing it well. I mean, part of that is because I haven't done many, but it's not the way that my brain thinks.
So my first Kickstarter is next year, early next year. I wrote a Dr. Seuss Golden Storybook style comic.
That sounds fun.
It broke my brain. It broke my brain. I actually looking for a letter. I'm going to be looking for a letterer next month as well. It's kind of like, I need someone to letter the book. How would you do it? And I, because of the style, the story.
You need a really creative letterer for something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that like some of them can't be, but it can't just be like bubbles.
There's no bubbles. There's no bubbles in the story.
Yeah.
It's all Seuss. It's Seuss style. So it said that so in my opinion, Dr. Seuss is one of the greatest 3 graphic novelists of all time. Because if you look at his stuff, he does a lot of graphic literature. If you really sit there and look at it, so he's number 1. He's not number 1 on my list. He's number 3. I have Will Eisner as number 2, and I have Will Eisner's number 1. Jack Kirby's number 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my guys. Yeah. So I steal from all of them, some more than others. So, but anywho,
it's a good lineup.
Yeah, I think so. So last question, and we'll wrap this up. Because I think we've got, like, you've gone above and beyond, and we both have, unfortunately, things to do. I enjoy chatting with you, by the way.
Yeah, no, me too. I'll probably be sleeping and foregoing things to do, though.
Yeah, well, no, it's fine. I unfortunately do not have that luxury, because I have 3. You say I have jobs in front of me, so I have to actually make sure that my customers are happy. That adulting thing, I can be an adult. Don't tell anybody, Leanne.
Okay, I won't give away your secret there.
Yeah, actually, okay. Second last thing. Did you watch the video I left on the newsletter?
No, was that the one that had like a 1-word subject?
No, it's Marissa Mayer was the subject. It was the last newsletter I sent. I sent you a little bonus clip of, but you didn't. It's at the bottom of the page. So it's another computer glitch, a computer problem thing. My interview Marissa the first time.
Yeah, no. See, it was a 2-word. It was a 2-word subject line, and at first, I was actually really confused because, for a subject line, right? So my first thought was, is this spam?
It's okay.
But I opened it and I was like, oh no, this is that Josh's. This is not like a spam Josh,
Yeah. There's a video at the bottom. So if you want to see like a really funny computer error, click on it. You'll dig. It gave me a hell of a story idea. Second thing though. So congratulations on your poetry thing.
Thank you.
So are you performing by any chance?
So the timing kind of ended up not great. It was supposed to happen in August, and then I would have had more time for promotion, but they ended up having to move it till October. And then I was like, well, I'm going straight into Kickstarter after this, so I can't really do anything until after the Kickstarter's done.
So okay.
But I'm going to try to do some virtual mics. I can kind of go to LA, but it's a lot of gas money.
Whereabouts in California are you?
I'm in Palm Springs, so it's like a 2.5-hour drive to LA.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do LA.
Very occasionally, I could do it. That's actually where the publisher is located, is in LA. So I did go there for the release, and
No. And
I can't go
honestly,
like every weekend or anything.
No. You're not that kind of rock star yet. We're getting there. We're working to that.
Well, I don't know if I'd still want to travel every weekend. That's a bit much, but
actually, so I'll tell you what I'm doing with the show. Once I break 1,000, I'm actually going to be turning it into a traveling show for the once I break 1,000, because I don't know if it'd be like right at 1,001, but it probably like around 1,000.
Yeah,
between 1,001 and 1,010. The Twitch stream becomes I'll bring an obnoxious fan, ice cream, and booze, and I'll bring and go. Would you like to eat ice cream and booze and talk on the air?
Is this like the adult version of "Hey kid, I have candy"?
Kind of.
But only good stuff. Only good stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, nothing terrible will happen. All right, nothing terrible.
I mean, maybe a hangover.
Maybe I don't know if you put that much booze into the ice cream, I'm going to be impressed.
Well, they can't just drink it out of the bottle.
I actually just take scoops. I take scoops and I put ice cream into the scoops. It's kind of fun.
Wait,
not ice cream, booze into the scoops.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I freeze the booze and ice cream around it. No, I put booze on the ice cream, and it's like mint ice cream and Bailey's is fantastic together, for example. Right? So
the guests don't have access to the bottles, in other words.
Not necessarily, no. Some of you are wonderful adults, and some of you, how do I put this delicately? Some of you probably shouldn't be trusted, and not because I think you have an alcohol problem per se, but Lord knows I understand with the times we're in that you may want to down a swig, a shot.
Well, or like once you're at a certain point, you're like, does it matter if I finish this liter?
Yeah, exactly. You're awesome. Listen,
it's not so much that you're like, oh, I want to drink just to be drunk, but you're like, I'm already drunk.
See, yes, and we all follow that. But then next thing you know, that's when the really bad things start to happen. That's when
that's gonna be my Saturday, but I hope nothing bad. So.
Okay, well, listen. Yeah, you have fun on Saturday.
It's my annual Halloween party, so.
Oh, gotcha. I'm working for my side gig. It's not a day job anymore, but a side gig is I work for the local sports arena, which is actually a big an NHL hockey franchise. So Friday I'm doing a concert, Saturday I'm doing a hockey game, and Sunday I'm doing another hockey game. So I'm not doing it. Monday is probably going to be me sleeping.
Actual Halloween.
Yeah. It's probably going to be me sleeping. And then that's the sad thing about being an adult. When you actually are working for people, you take your breaks when you can, right? Yeah. I would love to do something cool for Halloween, but it's been hard to find people to hang out with since I've been back in Calgary. So I don't know. It's just been the way it's gone. So
see, I will know about half the people coming, but I'm in a meetup group and half the people I won't know, so it's a little bit of a
it's a little bit of a journey.
Yeah, but I've done this for a few years now, and it's been fine. So,
hey, have a blast. Hey, listen, have fun for the both of us.
All right.
All right. So
have an extra drink, and then
that's right. This is for Josh. I love that guy. Then you wake up on the floor going, "What the hell did I do to myself?"
I'll make sure to blame you.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, right.
I got to double up anyways because of the Canadian thing.
Yeah, totally. Hey, I told you the scheme how to make that work. I'm Canadian. You're what? You're Canadian. Okay. Well, I'll give you I'll give you the good stuff. Right. There are places that will actually give you even way harder stuff because you're Canadian. It's true. All right. Especially in Europe. They'll show there's there's an Irish bar that actually you show them your passport and they'll actually give you access to different foods based on your nationality.
Well, I can't do that one.
No, you can't do that one. I can do that one though. It's great. There you go. It's like, but I digress. Hey, listen, we all have to have fun in our own ways. Congratulations on everything you're doing. You're doing an awesome job. You really, really are. And you should be very proud of everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
So, all right. So once again, why don't you give the final pitch and we'll wrap this up.
Yeah. Fangs and Foul Play is a story of horror, justice, and a vampiric cat. It follows Richard, an army deserter who leaves the war because he wants to stop committing atrocities, only to be enthralled by a vampiric cat. And now he has to find victims to feed to the vampiric cat Fang. So it's a little bit of a poor Richard. A little bit.
A little bit. I somehow feel I'm going to be rooting for the cat, though. Yeah, like somehow I feel like the cat's going to be like, feed me. That's like what a real cat does. The only difference is it's like it's actual like human slaves, I guess. So I'm looking forward to your Egyptian cat cult as a series progresses.
Well, this one ends in like 3 days, so it'll probably be. But I'm in an anthology, the Collective Holiday Special, and there's a short Fangs comic in there. So
nice.
Fang learns who Santa is, and he really wants Santa. So.
Oh, does he get Santa? Maybe not. Read and find out.
Yeah.
You read and find out. Okay. Well, folks, this is the conclusion of my chat with Leanne. Unfortunately, like I said, the first half there was a 3-hour gap. I want once again, I owe Leanne a big thank you. This is my advertising services page, ladies and gentlemen. So you check it out if you want to I make videos and audios of projects, people, and brands. It's all right here. You can definitely check that out right now. And that, folks, is my last stream for the month. I'm taking a few days off because I have a very busy, hectic schedule. I return Wednesday, November 2nd. My guests are Steph Cannon and Matt Knowles. They get to come back on the show. Yeah. I got a pretty crazy lineup so far for next month. I'm actually finalizing. There's a metal band that does Lord of the Rings style metal.
Fun. Yeah.
Actually, no, not Lord of the Rings. It's Star Wars, the Lost Jedi, like the early Jedi stuff, like the Age of It, like the Lost Jedi, like not the modern Star Wars, but like the Dawn of Empire, or I can't remember. No, it's not Dawn of Empire. What the hell is it? Knights of Old Republic. That's what it is.
Okay.
So all Knights of Old. So Knights.
I don't think but I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. He does metal in homage to that stuff. Nice. So I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be crazy next month. But for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining out. This is Leanne Kathleen Ingino. Definitely check her out. fangsandpowerplay.com. Right. Until then, folks, stay inspired and have a great one.
Bye.